All right. Well, this clock says 6:35. So we'll go ahead and get up and going. I'm going to share maybe, am I? Share my screen. Share my screen. Is it sharing? Yeah. Hot dog. All right. Cool. Start that. Roll that beautiful bean footage. All right. So let's kick it. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 2025 Cub Camp Rally. This is the virtual edition, and if you're not able to catch this one, I don't know. If you want to do it again in person, where you have an option, we have two more coming up. One at the Scout Achievement Center in Evendale, and then another one on Tuesday, the 21st, at Camp Michael down in Union, Kentucky. Gorgeous camp if you've never been down there. My name is Michael Stammet. I'm going to be one of your three MCs this evening. Let's go ahead and get into it with no further ado. So, my name is Michael Stammet. I serve the Dan Beard Council as an outdoor program specialist, and I've been stomping around camp for some considerable time. I'll be one of the administrative leads at Camp at Cub World this year. But I'm very pleased to introduce Sarah, who's going to be our camp director at Cub World for the 2025 season. Sarah, I'll let you introduce yourself if you'd be so good.
Sure. So, like you said, I'm Sarah Natbig. So I am a volunteer for both Cub Scouts, Scouts BSA, Scouting America, and also do a lot with archery in the council. So I've been hanging around the camp for the last 5 years or so, and I'm excited to be at Cub World this summer.
Neat. Yeah, we're very excited to have you. There's a lot of good experience that Sarah brings to the table, and Cub World familiarity is absolutely part of it. As for those of you who have questions as we go, we don't want you to forget them, so you can either make note of them and ask towards the end, or if you post them in the chat at the end of our session this evening, we'll be tackling your questions. And if it's knowledge that we can't get you right now, then we'll make a note of it and get it to you and spread that information out. There's also a lot of good links and codes and info to share, so you don't have to be taking all these notes. This will be posted publicly, and we'll go from there. So let's keep on going. Our theme this year is the Jungle Jubilee, which is very exciting for a couple of reasons. First, it lends itself naturally to the outdoors, and second, why Jubilee? This is actually the 25th season of Cub World, helping to make your Cubs into better citizens and more well-rounded human beings. So we'll be celebrating that Jubilee with a couple of cool staff throwbacks and some other neat things that'll be happening from one session to the next that will be completely unique. You'll get some more program teasers a little bit later. But this is our theme, and the patch and the shirt and all that kind of junk ought to look something pretty close to it. So there you are. See the parrot? We're taking submissions for names for the parrot, so throw us some cool ideas. All right. Gil, do you want to cover the day camp opportunities, please?
Yeah, I'm Gil Richards. I'm a volunteer. I've been around for a lot of years. I've been involved with camps, uh, outside events, units, and a lot of other things. Going to do a couple new things this year. We're going to have a brand new day camp at Camp Craig, which is going to be from the time school is out until school starts in August. Uh, we're going to be at Camp Craig with some down at Cub World. We're looking at charge about $275 a week, which will include getting there at 7:30 and going to 5:30. We'll be supplying lunch and a snack, and there'll be some more information coming on that shortly. Also, as we last couple of years, we've done day camps at East Fork and Trailblazers for the communities. And East Fork will be June 9th through the 13th, and Trailblazers is going to be the 23rd through the 27th. And keep an eye on your email. There'll be some more information coming out.
Neat.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you, Gil. Yeah, folks, for those of you that have done the day camps before, if you have a family situation where you can't do overnighters or you just need that spot for just to have your kids with good, worthy engagement during the day, this is a really cool option. So stay tuned for more updates on that one. Sarah, go right ahead on a couple, please.
All right. So in this slide, why do we camp? There's lots of reasons that we camp. So we promised to get our new scouts outdoors, and this is a great way to do it. Plus, when you're at camp, all of the fun is in one spot. I mean, Cub World's literally got everything. We're going to go through some of the some of the amenities later on. But there's even a fort and a castle, so lots of cool stuff to see. It also teaches kids self-reliance. Like they can do it. They can get out there. They can tackle all the activities they want to tackle and just have a great time outdoors. So, what do we provide? We provide pretty much everything. So, we provide a place for you to sleep, all the meals, there's campfire program and specific program to the different ranks. All the different ages will be engaged. Basically, all you've got to bring is some campers and the gear. And there's a list of that later on. You can find all that online as well.
Neat. Yeah. Cheerful dispositions get you bonus points. All
Definitely.
righty.
Agreed. All
Well, so what
right.
we got
As far
new come oh, daggone it. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, it's all good. So, what's new in 2025? Well, he already mentioned I'm new. I will be there, and I'm excited to meet all you guys. We are going to be putting in a brand new slingshot range. So, that'll be a new and exciting thing for all the scouts to check out. This year, our Weeblos camp is going to be held entirely up at Camp Friedlander. So, it'll be a new and exciting experience for all the older scouts, give them something new to try and new to check out. And we already touched on the day camp that's going to be held at Camp Craig. So that's what Gil was talking about. And our nature trail has been revamped. It has gotten much better and longer, and it'll be a lot of fun to check out this summer.
Particularly excited about that one. Yeah. All right. So we keep talking about Cub World Adventure Camp, and part of the reason that we want you to keep noting your questions, it's important that we don't make the assumption that all of you have done this before. Some of you may be new to your packs or new to your position in the packs. So with Cubs working on adventures in their handbooks, it's important to make sure that you know what we're talking about when we say an adventure for you to pick. There are several of these to choose from. You've got 9 different adventures, and one of these sessions of camp, a Cub World Adventure Camp session, is 3 days and 2 nights. They go either from Sunday into Tuesday, or they'll start on a Thursday and end on a Saturday. We did this so that you as adults and leaders and parents and guardians don't have to burn any more vacation days than are absolutely necessary. So starting on a starting on a Sunday or ending on a Saturday helps to that effect. Your older scouts, the AOLs, the Arrow of Light youth that will soon be moving over into a troop, do get to spend their last evening on what's called Outpost, where they go off not too far of a distance, but for a different experience, camping with our staff and some volunteers for a cool aside that's up in the woods. The Outpost is a diligently sought after and highly esteemed experience for those salty dog AOL scouts that have been around for so long. They really dig it. Now, we're still delivering all the stuff that you know and love, to include but not limited to the BBs, archery, swimming at the pool, a lot of the nature hikes, and you'll also get to toggle the fun of the outdoors adventure with checking off a few of the advancement requirements in the books. And people continue to approve of and enjoy keeping your pack together. So it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going to make sure that for most of your adventures around camp, you're going to get to spend that time as a pack. During the second night, there'll be some chance for rank-specific programming, but for the most part, your pack stays together to the pool, to the ranges, and back and forth. Neat. So far, so good. Here's the schedule. There you go.
All right.
So
So,
you want to
as you
walk us through? There we go. Sorry, Sarah. Thanks.
yeah, as you see, it does say tentative schedule. So there will be some changes that we will make. One of the things that we have been talking about is having a staggered check-in time this year, which will just give our staff a little bit more time to help out each individual pack as they're coming in. And then also potentially offering swim tests right away once you get there. So we're highly encouraging everyone to get swim tests done before camp starts this season, just to give more time in the pool. But we are talking about offering swim tests early on. That way all the kids can get in the pool faster later on. So more details on that will be coming out later with an updated schedule. But you can see what we have here, lots and lots of activities. So it's 3 full days. It's not just a partial day there. You're there having fun all 3 days.
Gonna be nice. I'm really excited about this summer. Okay. So, and again, you don't have to make super hard, crazy notes on this. This whole thing will be available, and we'll have updates digitally, all on one space, one-stop shop for all of the things as they change and as we announce more improvements. Okay.
So I believe Stan already touched on this a little bit, but with the advancements at Cub World, we are going to be focusing on the electives that are offered because we know that in the packs, you have requirements that you have to have everyone do. And so we're going to focus more on the electives, all the fun things that are not necessarily required. So we are going to be publishing a full list of what the advancements are going to be on February 1st. So look out for that announcement on February 1st.
Cool. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, folks have been asking for it a little earlier each year, so we thought if we just told you a date that you could expect to know what different ranks and requirements and advancements and stuff are going to be tackled, it'd give you a better chance to plan as parents and leaders. So there you go. Mark your calendars. Get excited. It's going to be neat. So let's talk about Cub World a little bit. For some of you, this will be a refresher course, or dare I say old hat, but just in case, Cub World Adventure Camp is one of 3 camps on the Danbeard Scout Reservation. It's located in between the quaint little towns of Milford and Loveland. We're actually in Miami Township in Claremont County, and the Little Miami River serves as our southwestern border. It's a one-way in, one-way out spot, and I don't know, can you see my mouse moving around on it? Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe.
Cool.
Yes, we can.
So from the camp gate all the way back to our final of 4 campsites, Riverview, is about a half-mile. So it's kind of nicely nestled and concise. The administration building is right up front, where we provide all of the amenities that you need. There's Wi-Fi at the front end of camp. There are 4 different campsites, which we'll touch on. The fort, the castle, the Mountain Man Village up on the hillside, which is really neat, and Riverview, nice and quiet with a good, yes, you got it, view of the river. That's why we do it. There are 2 BB ranges, 2 archery ranges, a fishing pond, which is stocked and set, 2 loops on the nature trail, both open now, and the Big Boy Pavilion, where we will be greeting our beloved mascot Francis and eating all of our meals, as well as the amphitheater, where you will get an opening and closing campfire. So more to come on that, but let's talk a little bit, give you a little more in-depth on some of the facilities. So the fort and castle are both enclosed. They both have electricity. So if you have any folks in your pack who are a little iffy about the camping thing, just remind them that they can wake up with their phones charging right next to them, ready to go. The castle has a complement of 72 beds. The fort has a complement of 68 beds, and they are in rooms with either 4 beds or 8 beds. So I can put a small group of 4, like a family unit, in one spot, or I can put a den of 8 kids in another, and we will be happy to work with you to make sure that not only youth, adult, male, female are kept appropriately separated per our membership and safety standards, but also to make sure that no youth are meeting or breaking outside of that 2-year age gap. So if you have questions, we can cover that a little bit later. So here's the fort and the castle. As you move farther back, you get to the Mountain Man Village, which has canvas tents up on tree-style platforms looking over the middle canopy, and the Riverview campsite, which has canvas tents that are all clustered around a large central shelter. Both of these shelters do still have electricity, so if folks come in, they need to charge a phone, or if you've got a CPAP machine or an APAP machine, we got you covered. Every campsite on the property has a flagpole, a fire pit, a water spigot, and a fire ring. So if you want to have a fun little adventure and just kick it with your pack around a small campfire in the evening, you have that chance. The canvas tents each feature 2 cots and 2 mattresses. There's no electricity in the tents, but there's electricity near the tents. And for those of you taking notes or playing the home game, yes, the showers are hot, the toilet's flush. We've got the running water and all the accoutrement. Pretty neat. So now this is sorry, we don't have we should have updated this. This Big Boy Pavilion is actually bigger boy pavilion and features more seating space than what you see here and more serving space than what you see here. But I do like to focus on the exuberance and lunatic antics of our camp staff who are gleefully serving hot food to you and your cubs. as they wait for their next adventure or their next meal. So yeah, we've got hand washing stations, overhead ceiling fans, and phone charging stations at this facility now. So yeah, your kids can wash their mitts before they get their meals, and you can charge your phone while you're waiting. So you get 3 meals a day here, with the exception of check-in day. We do lunch and dinner the first day, then breakfast, lunch, dinner on the second and third days before you see your closing campfire and depart. It's a really good time. Okay, I think, Sarah, you're doing this chunk, yes?
Sure.
Okay, cool. There you go.
All right. So on this slide, you can see the different camp dates and the cost. There's a really good breakdown on the website as well, on our website. So it's broken down into the different sessions. The last, like he pointed out, our sessions either begin on a Sunday or on a Thursday. That way, there's still a weekend day in each of the sessions. When you are registering, youth are $250 with a $50, I guess, deposit due upon registration. Adults are $110 with $35 due when you register. And then if you're registering the Den Chiefs, they are also $110 just like the adults, and $35 due when you register.
Neat. Den Chiefs are wonderful. I cannot encourage you enough to pair off with the troop that your pack feeds into and get yourself set up with a good Den Chief. A, because it will help make sure that your cubs stay happy and have a friendly face when they move to a troop. And B, because sometimes we hire Den Chiefs. If they're 14, I can feed them and house them. If they're 15, I can start paying them. And that's pretty cool. Some of our best staff have started off as Den Chiefs. So if you've got a Den Chief, huh? Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. All right, Sam, we get it. So let's talk about Weeblo's camp. So we just showed you the 9 3-day, 2-night Cub adventure options, but then there's that big one, that shiny posh pinnacle at the end of the season that will happen July 20th through the 23rd. That's Sunday through Wednesday. This one's not a 3-day, 2-night gig. It's a 4-day, 3-night gig, and it happens exclusively for your Webelos and your Arrow of Lights. That's, I believe, your 4th and 5th graders. So yeah, but I've got a tiger that wants to do it. That's neat. Your tiger can wait another year or two. It just heightens the anticipation. You get to experience the Cub World programming. You still get the archery, you still get BBs, you still get nature, you still get to work on Cub stuff, but it's exclusively happening at Camp Friedlander. There's still an outpost, but it'll let your Cubs and your leaders and the parents kick the tires of the scout camp that your kids will be moving to. It kind of does a nice job of taking some of the mystery out of the transition to a new camp. And it's been very well received in the past. But let's look at some of the cool stuff that's actually happening there. Let's see. So let's take this one with a grain of salt. This one's getting an update. We used to just feature part of this event at Camp Friedlander, but it's still check in on day 1, move in, fire drill, and then you get programming, camp-wide game. There's a ton of programming on the 2nd and 3rd days. There is still an outpost that happens, but please remember, this entire 4-day, 3-night gig happens at Camp Friedlander. So if you see the part that says hike up to Camp Friedlander, you're there already. You'll get updates on this one. This one's going to be epic. We've got some really big volunteers that are helping out with this one. Okay, so that's your Weeblos camp. You pick your kids up from Camp Friedlander. You drop them off at Camp Friedlander. The meals are at the dining hall. Don't I have it? Yeah, we do. Where the meals are at the dining hall, the air-conditioned dining hall. And your kid's last campfire will be at the Camp Friedlander Amphitheater, looking out over Lake Marge with a traditionally really nice sunset. So if you want, make sure and keep those questions coming for extra questions regarding the Weeblos camp. There are still some spots open for the Weeblos camp, and it's one that's, yeah, this one just gets better all the time. Okay, neat. I'll back up one. Is this one you, Sarah, or is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. It's me. So this one's very much like we talked about before. So we'll be focusing on the electives again, not so much on the requirements, because you can do those with your pack. We'll have our full list of the different advancement opportunities, what we're going to be doing, published on February 1st.
And your calendar should already be marked, because it's the same day we're doing the other release. Haha! See how we did it? Convenience. That's a good gig. Now, the campsites that are happening will be a couple of different options. Again, every campsite on the property still has a flagpole, a fire pit, a water spigot. Now, just for a little bit of realism, this picture was taken at the Stewart and Tolliver campsites right after a big downpour. Not all of you will be in these campsites, but there are 19 campsites at Friedlander, and there are tons of really, really cool options depending on where we end up working with you to be close to the dining hall, the archery ranges, the lake itself. And we'll show you a map. How about right now? See how we did it? So Camp Friedlander is a larger and more sprawling affair that features a 1.2-mile loop all the way around the lake. 18 acres of boating, swimming adventure. Lots of campsites. The parking lot's big. The trading post is bigger. The dining hall will easily fit our entire group. There's 2 other lakes that can be used for fishing. There's a 60-foot climbing tower. There's boating. You'll get to meet a lot of the Camp Friedlander staff that your scouts will be interacting with when they cross over to a troop. It's a wonderful camp, and we're very, very blessed by location and with some of the degree of quality of the facilities that are at all of our camps on the Dan Beard Scout Reservation. Again, this is on the same property as Cub World. It's just right up at the top of the hill. So you don't have to go too far. Okay, next up. Okay. Sarah? Me? Sarah? I don't know.
So we have the dates. It's just the one session here, and the cost for this one for youth is $310, and of course $50 due when you register. Adults are $125. Same with Den Chiefs, $125. Like we said before, there's a lot more information if you go on to the Dan Beard website, where you can look at all the different information for the camps.
Neat. Thank you. All right, so let's see. Next up. Oh, we'll keep on going.
Amenities. So we have our trading post that has all sorts of good things that your Cubs will want to buy. And there's slushies and lots of Cub World gear, and of course snacks. And then there's that Wi-Fi that's listed. So there's Wi-Fi. And of course, our camp has lots of trained camp staff. And you can see that picture of a bunch of Cubs with some of the staff. And you know that they're going to have a great time interacting with everybody.
Finding training and working with the staff to work with your Cubs is the reason that most of us keep doing this. Being on camp staff is the best. So yeah.
Okay. It's great to have people that the kids can look up to. I mean, they'll be looking for, seeing familiar faces every year. It'll be good.
So we're going to start getting into some of the registration stuff, the meat and potatoes. So if you are waiting for the, now let's talk about the computer stuff, the exchange of information and money, here's where you should start tuning back in. So first we'll talk about the ease of how to register your unit. Excuse me, beg your pardon. First, you'll need to go online to the danbeard.org website and going either through our camping heading or just perusing the calendar for the dates that work best for you. You have several options to get to the same path. First, you'll select your session, any of those 9 3-day, 2-night adventures, or the Weeblos session, or the Weeblos session. Select pack registration, click register a group, add your unit information along with your estimates. For youth and adults, we don't need your specifics yet. Put your $100 deposit now. Now that's a non-refundable, but it can be applied towards your camper fees. So we're happy to work with you on that one. It's just nice to make sure that people have some skin in the game. So 4-step process: pick a spot, pack registration, register the group, and give us your best guess head counts. Okay, next up. Oh, it is Sarah next. Got it.
All right, so we have some pre-camp meetings. They are going to be virtual at 7 p.m. June 5th, June 12th, June 19th, and June 26th, as well as July 10th. And so that'll be a good one to just tune into and make sure that you can find any of the last minute information. Our goal is to streamline our check-in process, and you'll get a better idea of how to organize your paperwork when you come in, and we'll go through a lot of that there.
People have found these pretty helpful in the past, and you can attend one or any of these. You don't have to, oh, I can't attend this one because we're not camping until the end of the summer. And we will continue to announce updates and like play-by-play changes as we go at these. So yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, sign up for whichever one works best for you.
Hmm.
All right. So because you loved it, this is all talking about stuff that's available for the adults that are at camp. So we like to offer cub programming as well as adult programming. So in the past and again, we have had CPR classes, range master training, and we'll be looking into what else we can offer and what else would be a good fit for you guys.
So this one, we're also looking for suggestions. We got some really good ones from some of you all as leaders last year, and even folks volunteering to help for this year. One or two of you know who you are. But if you think, well, I know a thing that I could do at camp, please reach out. You're there. It's your 3 days and 2 nights as well. And there are so many adults around camp that frequently some of us are afforded the chance to step away from the pack. So if you'd like some enrichment, throw some ideas out. We'd love to talk. Okay, so here's some more of the registration stuff. Here we go. There should be a summer camp coordinator. Might be you. Yes, you on this meeting or watching this video. Your pack should designate one person as the summer camp coordinator, and that person, you, is responsible for submitting the payments and the registration forms by the deadlines. This makes your pack have less trouble. This makes everyone's lives easier, and it stops every single parent from having to figure out how to navigate all of these steps. Um, Thank you, summer camp coordinators. What you're doing matters, and we appreciate it. And I hope that all the people in your pack appreciate it too. If not, I'll explain it to them. Now, this summer camp coordinator is the one who's going to be listed as the contact on your unit registration. So they need to be aware of that so that we can stay in good contact with them. This will make all of your lives simpler to have this person. The summer camp registration has an FAQs page that's on our website, and we have very simple, very short, and very concisely worded how-to videos to help you register, and they're posted on the Dan Beard Council's YouTube page. There will be links for that and information later in this session. So your summer camp coordinator can be someone completely new to the Cub Pack, and we will still walk them through it using the FAQs and the videos. You're welcome. Ding. Next, t-shirts. We found from a lot of feedback, especially in the last 2 years, that most attendees are about the t-shirt. So every attendee is not getting a t-shirt this year, but it doesn't mean that there won't be shirts. When you register, you'll have the chance to say, yes, one son wants a shirt, one daughter wants a shirt, but the parent doesn't, or both of the parents do, but my daughter does, whatever. You'll be able to specify who wants shirts, what size shirts, and pay for them during your registration process. If you are not sure, now you can say, I don't want a shirt, and then change your mind later during your registration as you confirm who is and isn't coming to camp. So, this also is a big change in finances for us as a camp, for Sarah and I as camp leadership, because that's a lot of money that won't be sitting in unclaimed bags for a lot of shirts that are still sitting at camp that people just didn't really care that much about. By the way, if you didn't get your shirts last year, we've got them. Reach out to us after this. We'll make sure we get them to you. So yes, you can still get your shirts. If you don't care about the shirts, no worries. It's saving the camp money, and it's going to save the whole process. So we can spend all that on better program stuff for the program your kids deserve. Yeah. Next up, some incentives and some deadlines. It's all in bold. For these, I know it's not usually good form to just read off the PowerPoint slide, but you need to get at your estimates of youth and adults by February 15th. We're reserving space based on estimates. The spots are held until February 1st, at which point only those who have who've paid the minimum get the reserve space. The slushy deadline stays. If you register by the slushy deadline, your youth, the kids, get a free slushy how do I not have one at my desk on it? Either way, the cup is cool this year. It's going to be themed, and every paying youth participant who registers, gets themselves in by that slushy deadline, gets the cup to get them one free slushy every day at the Cub World Trading Post or at the Camp Freelander Trading Post if you're there for the Weeblos session. I'm telling you, it's a really nice trading post. Now, so let's see. I think it's all there. I'll let you keep reading along. The late fee begins on May 1st. So I know no one promises us tomorrow. If your schedule changes, you got between now and May 1st to get everything and all your ducks quacking and in a row. But if you come in late, we still want you at camp. But for our planning and meal count purposes, the late fee begins and the price goes up by $15 on May 1st. Okay, gonna move through. Okay, camp cards. A lot of you love them. A lot of you love that you can sell camp cards on the pack level to make camp cheaper for the kids. The information is coming soon from the Dan Beard Council. There you go. Camperships. Let's talk about these. For I think the last 4 years, I know we have not had every campership claimed. Money is something that should not stop your scout from coming to camp. A couple of bucks is a lot if you don't have it, and we want to make sure that you know that there is an opportunity to apply for a merit-based scholarship to reduce the cost of summer camp for your scouts. The application deadline is April 12th. The notifications go out if you did or didn't get it, and if so, how much your fee is reduced goes out on April 18th. You've got to be registered with the down payment by April 30th. Otherwise, the campership goes away. If you get it, that's fine, but you need to make sure and tell us that you're going to take advantage of it. As soon as the U.S. government publishes the guidelines, which were supposed to be out today, by the way, sorry, we are waiting for those to be published, and as soon as that data is updated, the campership form will go live, same day. We're waiting for it on a day-to-day basis. So thank you for your patience, as we too are being patient in return. Okay, all right, our refund, back up. Refund policy is here. I don't believe it has changed. I'm going to read this one. I think that they're probably going to slap my hand if I don't. We refund all but 20% of fees paid per participant for the camp request form no later than 30 days prior to arrival. The form is on the website. We'll link to it later. After the 30-day cancellation deadline, we don't do refunds, except for personal medical reasons. You'll know them when they happen. We have courteous, kind, and understanding staff who work with you for this, and a refund must be requested by the unit leadership within 2 weeks after the first day of the camp session. Don't ask me about a refund for 2022. You missed your window. If it's something medically related or something that's family related, it's your family, it's your business, we don't like to pry. We will ask a few pertinent questions, and if we need to ask for a doctor's note, we will. And payments made with a unit registration get refunded back to the unit in care of the contingent contact. If you were registered as an individual, the money goes back to the payee, and we usually process those in one big lump. So traditionally, we've done them at the end of the summer season. We're going to try and get those knocked through earlier this year. Stay tuned for specifics on that as well. Thank you. Individual campers. Yes, you can do it. This one's especially nice for if your family's going to be out of town while the rest of your pack is there. So again, Stammett's going to read off the slide, isn't he? Yeah, he's gonna. Scouts can attend with their pack. Scouts can attend without their pack. If your pack is going and you can't make it, your scout can still go. But you've got to have a registered adult with them. A registered adult with them. But if you got 2 or more kids from the same pack, then you need to provide your own adult supervision. Okay? So those are registered as individuals. We'll do our best to work with you for sleeping accommodations. It can indicate the preference, and we'll do our best to get you there, but we may have to fill in gaps as we can. So there you go. Yes, you can absolutely attend as many sessions as you want without your pack, but we do need a grown-up coming along. And if you just need a spot to drop your kids off, I believe Gil Richards mentioned something about some fantastic day camp options. See how we're tying it back in? Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, so speaking of attending multiple sessions, we're still doing seconds. The seconds program is always popular and gets a few more attendees every year. If you liked it once, pretty good chance you're going to like it again. So if you come in for a second session, let's say that you want to do session number 3 in June, And then your child says, I'd love to try the Weeblos camp this year. Oh, mama, may I come back for more? Neat. Yes, you may. Not only that, but just because you want to come back, we'll knock $25 off the second session that you're going to. So, yeah. Excuse me. Now, that applies to all types of Cub Camp offered through the Dan Beard Council. It's only for the individual. Families can't get a seconds discount for another child if one kid is already attending. So it's not like, well, I'm sending 3 kids, they all get seconds. No, that's not how it works. And only one session of day camp is eligible. So if you want to knock $25 off and you're sending your kid to all 9 sessions, yeah, that's $25, but not per session. Neat. Okay, cool. All right. So Sarah and I are going to tag the adults at camp policy. I'm going to do the first one. So let's do the specifics because this one gets questions every year. Cub Camp needs 1 registered adult that's over 21 for every 4 cubs, with a minimum of 2 adults, both over 21. These need to be registered adults. I'm going to let that one sink in, chew on that one for a second. Now, next up, if you are bringing young ladies, if you're bringing a female youth, I need at least 1 female that's also a registered leader who is also over 21. That is a national policy. There you go. Now, if you got a rising tiger means that they're coming into the 1st grade. They have to, mandatory, have to have an adult partner with them. Adult partner is traditionally a parent, but it can be anyone that's an approved guardian. We just need to make sure that you're covered. So when we say a registered adult leader, what does that mean? A registered adult, a registered leader is, count it off with me, over 21, is registered with the BSA. That means that you are, that your council has issued you an ID number. You have a youth protection training certificate in hand. We know that it's current. Now, any parent or adult just needs to be 18. They do not have to be registered with the council, but they do have to have youth protection training. Hang on, I'm pretty sure that it's not sharing my little window, but let me scoot it up. Dang on it, scoot it over so that you can see. Cubs to registered leaders is a 1 to 4. For every 4 cubs, you got to have 1 of those registered adult leaders, and it's a 1-to-1 ratios, tigers to parents. Notice it doesn't say tigers to adult leaders, it just says tigers to parents. Take as much time as you want with that one. Yeah, I still have to refresh myself on it every year too. The end result of these requirements is that your kids stay safer. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking and inhale for a second. Sarah, take one, please.
All right. I know he already touched on this on the last slide, but any adults meaning leaders or parents, they all have to be current on their youth protection training on YPT. And we will want to see proof of that when you guys check in. So basically, as leaders, as adults, just do your best to make sure that everybody has given you proof of YPT to help that check-in process go more smoothly. That is required.
Wonderful, thank you. And we will remind you about this beforehand, which is one of the reasons that you should attend those virtual pre-camp meetings. Whoa, another tie-in. Yeah, that's good. Okay, more, what to bring?
All right, so there's a huge list here. It's a summer camp, so it's going to be what you expect. I guess what I'd like to highlight is that we will be going creeking. So creeking usually means the kids are going to be getting wet, getting muddy. I mean, they have the option not to necessarily have that happen, but they need to have creeking clothes, creeking shoes. So that's just an extra set of shoes, extra set of clothes, because they're going to get wet. They're going to have fun. Creeking is an activity that everyone really enjoys doing at the camps. I guess look through the list and highlight to your scouts what they may not be thinking of. Just know if you're doing outpost that you need to make sure that you have gear for that. So bedroll, most of the other gear is fairly similar. I don't know.
No, that works. True.
Yeah.
Outpost, we usually take the youth up to Camp Craig, which, if you aren't familiar, is the area around the Cub World swimming pool, which is up at the top of Cardiac Hill that we all know and love so much. There are alternate rain. There's shelters in case of rain. So Outpost is a rain or shine gig, and we've got plenty of contingencies in plan with rainy day programs in our back pocket ready to go. Some of these items are sold at the trading post. Can I sell you a new sleeping bag? I doubt it. But if you show up to camp and you realize, well, shucks, I forgot my toothbrush, we got you covered. So some of your basic amenities can, in fact, be got from your beloved Cub World Trading Post. All right, next up. So the check-in process at a glance. Sarah touched on this a little bit earlier, but we want to make sure that this goes as smoothly as possible for you and your Cubs as soon as you get out of your car. So each of the campsites that we discussed earlier, the fort, the castle, the Mountain Man Village, and the Riverview campsite, and anyone who is tent camping, I neglected, I have to come back to that one. Oh, shame on me. There's spots that we have designated. If you are bringing your own tent, we have spaces between over near the fishing shack and over behind the fort near the basketball courts. So if you say, I don't want to sleep in the fort, I want to bring my own tent, the answer is yes, you can. You're allowed to bring your own tent for you, for your family, for your Cubs, whatever. We're happy to work with you. Now, you may not be able to put a campfire right next to your tent, but we'll still work with you. So when you get to camp, you put your gear on each of the respective trailers. Then my staff and I will hook up the trailers, haul it through the gate, and bring the trailers straight back to your campsite. If it's raining, we'll cover it and or help you unload it quicker. Otherwise, you and your packs will be the one to unload it. So we take your gear from you, and it's put onto you put your gear on the carts go through the gate, and we give you time to unload and set up shop so that you have that chance to enjoy all of your stuff with your pack. Your leaders that have all of the paperwork, the payment confirmations, the youth protection training, the medical forms, keep that. All of your bedding and stuff, your coolers, your box fan, if you're in the fort or the castle, that can all go on the trailer, and then you can unload it from the trailer at a time that's convenient for you. The staff and all of the volunteers who help with check-in for medical forms and things like that are constantly looking for ways to make sure that your Cubs are playing with cool gear, engaging with the staff as soon as they lay eyes on them, and that the Cub experience starts as soon as you get out of your car. So please be prepared to get all your packs gear on a trailer while we engage with your kids, and 1 or 2 leaders goes in with all the paperwork, and we'll take it from there. The whole check-in process goes pretty quickly. As Sarah said, we'll work on getting more access to swim tests for you, and then we have a leaders meeting to tell you what's going on, where everything is, and then our staff is giving all of your kids the tour. So we'll get you into camp, show you the sights, let you kick the tires, show you where the restrooms are, and make the process seamless from the time you pull up to camp.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, Stan, one thing to add, when they
Go
bring
ahead, Gil.
their equipment to the trailer, make sure it's marked with your name.
Oh, love it.
Because if not, sometimes 4 different people have the same sleeping bag or whatever, and you're not sure who it belongs to. If your name on it, makes life so much easier for everybody.
You mean more than one person brings a giant black tote with a yellow lid? Heavens. So yes, please clearly label, even if it's just pack number and initials. That helps a lot to avoid any confusion. You'd be amazed the stuff that people like, I can't believe that your limited edition 1980 Lord of the Rings calendar is the same art that's on my backpack. Who knew? I don't know. I just made something up. But yes, thank you, Gil. Please label your stuff. It makes it a lot easier for us to return it to you and your Cubs. Yeah. Okay. Sarah, you
And then
on this
just
one?
going back to the other one really quick.
Sure.
So our current game plan is that we are going to be doing swim tests for anyone that didn't swim test in advance. So that would mean your scouts and any adults that need swim tests would need to have their swim gear with them, like in a backpack, just have a day pack with them, because the trailers are not going to immediately magically get back to your unit. It'll take a little while for them to get back there, but they will get back there in a timely manner.
Cool. Right.
Right,
Thank you.
good.
No, great addition. Like giving more people the chance to get swim tests done earlier for more pool access. Love it. Love every bit of it. Thank you, Sarah. Okay. I think this one's you too.
Yes.
Neat.
So for any of the possible things you might need to do to get ready for camp, prepare for camp, we're going to have links. Many times there's there might be a little video about it, or I'll just talk about it. Um, Take a look at the links that you need. We have an entire camp forms page that has lots of information as well. But yeah, click on the links if you have a question about a specific thing, and it'll help you out greatly. Answer a lot of questions for you.
Touching on just a couple of these, we get questions frequently about dietary restrictions. If you let us know about it, we get that into the hands of our food service company that we contract out for all of our meals. That's Candle Foods. They are multi-state. They're pretty adept at taking care of dietary restrictions for medical or religious reasons, and they've handled some pretty crazy curveballs in the past. So we can work with you. You just need to give us a little bit of notice. Everything from the how do I do this to how to get the information on your pack level, all the way to any special accommodations. You know, if you find out that someone's going to show up with a walking boot or cast or crutches or a wheelchair, or if any sort of scout or adult has special needs, we are really, really good at figuring out cool ways to work with them to make sure that everybody gets access to the program they deserve. There's also a link to the non-summer facility rentals piece, which I think I cover in a minute, so I'll table that for a second. Okay, but that's the link. It's danbeer.org/camp-forms. You'll see this as well. There's all over the place. Yeah. Sarah, what's this?
It is a mailer that you guys should be getting pretty soon. Just kind of shows and highlights the different sessions and obviously our theme. So we see lots of animals here. It's a jungle jubilee. There's, I guess, a snapshot of what the theme's going to look like for you.
I don't know what that expression is on the giraffe's face, if he's judging the options of leaves to eat or if he's like bemusedly up to something, but I'm keeping my eye on that giraffe. Okay, that's just me. All right. Let's see. So next up, I'd be remiss if we didn't tell you about some of the other cool things that are happening that are Cub Scout flavored around the Dan Beard Council for the rest of this year, especially the first one. March 29th, there's a council-wide Pinewood Derby tournament. I'm gonna be there and just eating popcorn and harumping because that's fantastic. It's down at Camp Michael's. It's gonna be in the lodge. If any of the youth or grown-ups, you know who you are, in your pack are big Pinewood Derby enthusiasts, then please put that one on your calendars. If you need service options for conservation hours or service hours, we have a conservation day at Cub World. It's free and I feed you, and it's free and I feed you. And you just tell me how many people you're bringing, and we'll make that many meals. Or more appropriately, Gil and his crew will make that many meals. Thanks, Gil. And yeah, we feed you. That's wonderful, and it's a great way to improve and spruce up the grounds before summer. The two Cub family weekends that we're talking about coming up for the spring, just for a nice getaway for you and your family to come and do some Cub Scout flavored stuff. The first one is happening May 9th and 10th down at Camp Michael's in Union, Kentucky. It is worth the extra 20 minutes to get down there. It's gorgeous down there. And then May 17th and 18th will be a Cub family weekend at Cub World. This is a nice way to showcase Cub World for a lot of your parents and Cubs who haven't been out to see the camp yet, to show them how great it can be. And since Sarah mentioned trying to get as many swim tests as possible, you see the one that's in bold? It's called Wake Up the Blob. That's on Saturday, June 7th at Camp Friedlander. I think we charge $2 a person. The point is to come out and take your pre-camp swim assessment so that you can get that through and done and out of the way. And the giant inflatable, big as a school bus whoopee cushion, the blob, is on the lake at that point. So if you or your kids take the swim test and get assigned the full rank of swimmer, you will then have the chance to blob, to be blobbed in turn. And someone else jumps off the tower and whoop, splash. It's a great time. The day camps that Gil mentioned earlier are happening June 9th through 13th at East Fork State Park and June 23rd through 27th down at Camp Michael's in Union, Kentucky. The summer long day camp is happening right here on the Dan Beard Scout Reservation, just up the hill from Cub World. And as Gil said, that's pretty much from the end of school all the way to the start of the fall school season. If you want summer camp for free, please work on your costumes for the Dan Beard Council Spook-O-Ree. that happen the 2 Saturdays before Halloween. Never on Halloween itself, even if Halloween is on a Saturday. Adults get in free and coffee is free. It's a giant family-friendly, all ages, community-wide scouting and non-scouting. Bring your friends, bring your mummy. That's terrible. And the winners of the costume contest get a free session of summer camp next year. So that's a pretty nice carrot. It's also trick-or-treating and hay rides. And this year we had live combat jousting demonstrations and the haunted castle and the cryptid safari trail with the Loveland frog man and the Bigfoot is great. And if you want to be better leaders and get more ideas of all the cool stuff that scouting can do for you, in November on the 8th, we're holding a scouting university for leaders just like you. It's open to everybody and it's free. It's free. It's wonderful. Okay. Finally, you can book all this junk, all the stuff we were talking about at the Dan Beard Scout Reservation, from the heated cabins this time of year, because I dare say probably you don't want to be camping out in a tent this evening, but the heated cabins are great. The castle, the fort, use of the BB and archery ranges, the giant dining hall at Camp Friedlander for your next Court of Honor, Blue or Gold banquet, or weddings, your company events, team retreats. Scouting and non-scouting groups can book practically everything and every space at the Dan Beard Scout Reservation and at Camp Michaels. And I can do a whole nother separate hour presentation on that. But if you got questions, please come my way. Got it. Here's one. And we're almost done, by the way, and we'll switch over to the questions part. The end of the summer, from Friday, July 25th to Sunday, July 27th, folks, I can almost hear you scanning this QR code. You gotta be 21 years old to attend this one. You want to know who the title sponsors were for the event last year? March 1st Brewing Company and the Cincinnati Distillery. Does that mean that it's Bloody Mary bars and then down to the rifle range? No, that's not what I'm telling you. You get to do all of the high-octane, fun, adventure-y camp stuff at camp with no scouts anywhere on the property. You, yes, that's right, you, the leaders, can go relax in the pool, can go throw tomahawks, can climb the tower and rappel back down it, or we'll set you up in a hammock and you just bring a book. You can adventure, explore, and or relax at your leisure, but then after 5 o'clock, that's when libations are forthcoming. You get a few tickets for drinks each night. Last year we did a boozy slushy pairing on Friday night, a bourbon sampling on Saturday, and that led into the live band. This is the fun that you always wanted to have at camp, but couldn't, because we don't let you bring that sort of thing in your coolers and because your kids are all over the place. This one is epic. You can book our cabins, you can bring your own tent, you can do everything in between. It's booking up very, very quickly. We've already almost met last year's capacity. So live music, adult libations, and all of the fun of Scout Camp, no kids. Scan the QR code or check it out later. Tell your friends. It's open to the entire community. So there you go. All right. That's all I've got. I'm going to stop and I'm going to inhale for a moment, and we're going to look at the questions screen and see what all you folks had to share with us. I'm actually going to stop the share there so you all can turn on your videos or whatever and see what we've got. All right, so again, if I don't know, which is very likely, I mean, I talk a lot, but there you go, then we'll get you the answers later. Okay, so half my pack got in the fort. Other wouldn't let us be, but selected tent camping as they hope to set up tents behind the fort. When can we get confirmation on that? I'll go ahead and give you confirmation in now. If half your pack wants to camp in the fort and the rest want to camp close to the fort, you may not be the only ones camping close to the fort, but yes, you can camp close to / behind the fort, and depending on how many people want it, we'll set out different spaces so that you're kind of partitioned, but still in close proximity. Neat. Can they take the swim test at the Y or some other pool ahead of time? If yes, do they have to retake anything once at camp? Sarah, would you like this one or shall I?
mean, we can tag team it. So yeah, you can definitely download the form. There's a form that's available on the camp forms page, like everything else is, for the swim tests. And yes, it very clearly outlines who is authorized to do the swim test, and it very clearly tells you what the swim test consists of. So yes, a lifeguard from one of those facilities is more than welcome to do the pre-camp swim test for your scouts.
As to do they have to retake anything once at camp? I'll say this. A comfortable scout in their neighborhood Y, in a heated pool in the middle of the winter, just hanging out and relaxing, may have a very different experience than trying to take the same swim test in the lake at Friedlander or in the pool at Friedlander at camp. If a participant, youth or adult, seems nervous or seems like they are struggling, our aquatic staff, for safety purposes, do reserve the right to request that that participant retest. But that's a case by case basis. So, do they have to retake anything once at camp? No, it's all challenge by choice. If you can get it done beforehand, you'll thank yourself for it later. Okay. Thank you. I have to leave for roundtable. I'll catch up. You're certainly welcome. Good luck with the roundtable. I hope it's great. If a Weeblo goes to Cub World but also wants to go to Weeblo's camp, does the cost go down? You will get that seconds discount. So that also brings up a point. The Weeblos session, the 4-day, 3-night gig, is exclusively for the Weeblos and AOLs, but any Weeblo and AOL can attend any session. So if you want to do the Weeblos camp and a Cub World Adventure session, yes, you will get that $25 discount for the seconds feature. For Weeblos camp, is the daily free slushie still applicable? Yes. Yes, it is. Just because they're 4th and 5th graders doesn't mean they value those slushies any less. So yes, it is. Hang on, let's see. Yep. For Weeblos camp, do they earn the Cub World patch or the Friedlander patch for 2025? Nah, they're still Cubs. They're still Cubs. They'll have plenty of time to get Friedlander swag. They'll be camping at Friedlander, and they'll still have access to the Friedlander trading post. If they want Friedlander stuff, they can get it. But they will still earn the Cub World patch and the Cub World shirt if you elect to purchase it. When registering for the Weeblos camp, we weren't given the option to select a shirt or not. Noted. We will add that. You will have the option to add it later. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is great. Thank you all so much. All right. Will Bears moving up to AOLs be doing the knife elective at the beginning of camp? Your slide referencing whittling chip doesn't exist anymore. All right, so for those of you paying close attention to a lot of the updated Cub programming, you'll know that, and most of us are very excited, that there's more knife safety and knowledge and programming spread throughout the entirety of the Cub program. Short answer, yes. The Bears are going to get to do knife stuff on night 2 when we split everyone off for rank-specific programming. That's the only night of the 3 where the Bears go do bear stuff, the Wolves go do wolf stuff, and so forth. And working on the knife skills is I mean, they'd get the pitchforks and torches and run me out if we took that away. Good gosh. I've already got a big stack of bars of soap ready to get cut. So yes, the knife skills will continue. Let's see. Adults at Weeblos camp. The website says all adults must be registered to attend. Is this still accurate? I believe so, and that's because, well, I'm sorry, what we didn't touch on this presentation is the medical forms. Medical forms are part A, B, and C. I'll make a note of that as well. The medical forms part A, B, and C, you only need part A and B for the 3-day, 2-night sessions. But because the Weeblos camp is a 72-hour session, every adult attendee, a visitor, every adult attendee needs to be registered. And I need a part A, B, and C medical form for every kid, every adult coming to camp for Weeblos camp, because that event is more than 72 hours. But message me if you have further details after that. Will pre-camp swim test be accepted for Weeblos camp as well, since it appears there's more advanced aquatics involved? Yes. We take it in good faith. We put a lot of faith in the whole Scout is trustworthy thing. I don't know a single parent or lifeguard or volunteer who would fake a Cubs swim results. I don't know why you would endanger a kid. So if you're telling me that your kid took a swim test and that they made a certain level, that's great. We will assume that that is accurate until evidenced otherwise. It just seems courteous to do so. Let's see. There will be more involved aquatics, so the swim tests will be more important, and the lifeguards will be paying every bit as close of attention as they always have. Because they'll, at the Webelos camp, have access to not only the pool, but also the Camp Friedlander Lake, which is fantastic. I love that lake. We have a pack testing day each summer. Yes, yes, absolutely. So I think that answers that question. Thank you. And Webelos Camp, all participants need Part C. Yes, all participants need Part C of the medical form. Hats off to you. You beat me to it. But yes, everyone at the Webelos Camp needs the Part C. Again, because that event is more than a 72-hour event. Will you check the link for pre-camp swim class? Yes. If the form is busted, we will unbust it. Yes. This is great. Thank you all so much. Okay.
In the meantime, if you do want to see what the requirements are there, I believe you could try clicking on the one for Friedlander. So we will update the Cub World one, but you could at least see the requirements on that one.
Oh, neat. Nice workaround. Thank you, Sarah. Okay.
You're welcome.
It is now 7:35. We held it to about an hour, which I think was a little bit short of our intended, but that's all that we have for you. So from here at the frigid Dan Beard Scout Reservation and wherever you are, I hope you're a little bit warmer, but thank you so much for your time. Please get your registrations in, tell your friends. Don't be a stranger. We'd love to see you before camp comes through, because there's all those community camp and Cub family weekends coming up between now and then. Get your Pinewood Derby cars ready for March. And I mean, spookery is always its own wonder. So thank you all, folks, for your time this evening. We're doing this again tomorrow in person if you liked it that much. We'll see you at the Scout office there on Reading Road in Evendale near the Gorman Heritage Farm. And then again on Tuesday the 21st at Camp Michaels. If there's anything that I left out, I'm quite certain that the rest of the program team with whom I share office space and camaraderie will not hesitate to tell me about it tomorrow. But keep the questions coming, and thanks. Have a nice night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Good night. Thanks for tuning in.